Good morning, everyone. My name is Mozi Wai.
My name is Jaina.
My name is Lo Ji Q.
My name is Chen Huyan.
My name is Hong Chen Q. Today we will talk about a fun and educational geo tour at Yim Tin Zai. This geo tour will will start will in X part. In this content page, we will show the X part of this. And then first we look at the basic information. The tour will start at Sai Kung at 12 o'clock on 2 of April. The cost is only $65 per student. We will visit three main places, the salt plant and mangrove, and the last one is the stone beach. In the salt plant, here we will have a salt sugar gas activities. Students will learn about the history of the salt maker in Yim Tin Zai and guess which is the salt or sugar. This teach them daily life skill and knowledge. And then mangrove student will join a crab spotting battle. They will look for some small crabs and learn about Hong Kong wetland ecosystem. And then the last one is the stone beach. Students will play a rock and sandpaper touch gas experiment. They will know something information about the rock. And the target is the primary school student who is in 8 to 12 years old. And we total will have 15 students, 3 teachers, and 3 tour guide. And we will do this geo tour in 3 hours, and we will go to geo tour in spring.
Then I will talk about the matter that need attention. Weather conditions matter a lot of our beach rock search. They can bring safety risks like sudden heavy rainstorm that disturb plants and endanger us. We should always check the weather beforehand. Postpone if there is bad weather or bad warnings. Bring sunscreen and umbrella for temperature changes and wind. For safety matter, watch out for slipping, tripping, or falling on hills and rocky areas. Cerumen spot means mosquito bite too, so wear non-slipper shoes, long sleeve skirt, and pants is important. It is important for us to carry plenty of water to avoid dehydration too. We will transport to Yim Tin site by small or medium boats. We should mind and check for sickness in participants. When we are in Yim Tin site, one teacher lead the group up front and another stay back to prevent anyone falling behind. Check Hong Kong observation tide tables too, as high tide blocks the beach. Remind all participants to take all trash like tissue to keep the environment clean.
Then I will talk about the geo planning. The main aims of this geo tour is to help students become familiar with unique ecological of the area, especially the mangrove, salt pan, beach, and different type of rock. This tour is designed to connect what we learn in class with real life world of session so the student can better understand the nature environment around them. In terms of the participation, most of them are students, so the activity should be interesting and attractive to keep them encouraged. However, since some students may not know so many background knowledge in ecosystem and geography, we need to make sure the tour should include some sample and enough guiding. So the tour may involve walking on muddy and uneven ground. Students may wear suitable clothes and shoes for safety reasons. For in meditation, the tour will begin at Salt Pan and to participation may learn about traditional way to make salt and it will play some games too. The second, we will go to mangrove area where students can see the plants and biodiversity. Then we will move on to the final checkpoint is the stone beach and it may let the student understand the rock to rock transformation and we will do some easy experiment.
And this is our guided tour rotating. Sorry, this is our guided tour rotation design. First, we will go to Yimtin's. We will go to the salt plant. Next, we will go to the mangrove, and lastly, we will go to the beach. And this our time allocation. Now, I'm going to introduce Yimting site, which lies inside cold inlet water and is part of Hong Kong UN Scope Global Geopark. Our field trip focused on three major landscape. First, the mangrove. It is an important coastal ecosystem on soft tidal shore. It has high biological productivity and provides habitat for crabs and fish. Its root system can also help reduce erosion and trap sediments and pollutants. In Yimtin site, there are four major mangrove species, including Candelaria ovata and Aphocynia marina. Second, the salt plant. The salt plant are a special part of Yimtin site heritage. They are linked to the low-lying terrain. They are linked to the low-lying terrain, relative soil, and traditional Hakka salt-making knowledge. The restoration of the salt plants were recognized by the UN Scope in 2015, showing their cultural importance and their connection to the local economy. Finally, the rock beach. It is made mainly of granite and intrusive igneous rock formed by slow cooling of magma underground. Its coarse texture allows us to see minerals such as quartz, feldspar, and mica.
And the next part is about the tour activity. Our first activity is craft sporting battle. The objective of this activity is to educate participants, know more about the mangrove ecological environment, and learn about the main crab species in Hong Kong, and can cultivate students to observe and explore Hong Kong ecology. And in this activity can building up the student interest of landscape and ecological environment, showcasing Hong Kong biodiversity and ecological value. Also, when we use the competition and game format to introduce the organism, can the student more involved and interested in the tour. And the tour becoming both educational and entertaining can enhance the overall experience and the participants' learning outcomes.
And the second activity is salt, sugar, gas. You may think why we do plan this game and activities. There are many goals. First, we want students to look carefully at small detail in daily life. When they touch rocks or they learn to observe the world around them. Second, the activities help they build independent thinking and practical skill. For example, short sugar gas game. Students need to use their sense and knowledge to make guesses. And then using games make learn to more fun. Students will not feel bored and the education will help them remember knowledge better.
Then about the experiment. We hope in this experiment, participants can observe rock surface roughness and estimate particle size using sandpaper references. About the materials, we should provide different different level of sandpaper. For example, P60, P120, P280, P600, and P1500. Next, we should provide 3 random rock samples. And also, we should provide markers and paper for recording the result. The procedure is like this. First, we should observe the sandpaper sample and sense the sandpaper with different sandpaper grade. Second, we should record the sensation using a symbol plus to show the extent of roughness of sandpaper. The maximum is 5 plus and the minimum is just 1 plus. The sandpaper P60 is referred to the maximum roughness and the sandpaper P1500 is the maximum roughness. Then we give the rock A, B, and C and performance the same procedure as in step 1. Record also the roughness of the rock. Then estimate the possible particle diameter present on the surface of rocks, and lastly fill in the result box.
Okay, so let's talk about the checkpoint. The first checkpoint, which is salt plant. The salt plants are located on Imtinchai in the inner water of Saikong. This island is low-lying and coastal with generated flatlands close to sea level. These physical features are important because they formed the basic condition needed for traditional salt production. The salt plants are situated in a salted bay. Because of this, the surrounding waters are calm, with gentle currents and very little wave action. Seawater could therefore remain in the plants and could not be easily washed away. This provides favorable conditions for nature's evaporation, which is a key process in making salt. In terms of construction, the salt plant was traditionally built using natural mud rather than artificial materials. The soils was compacted and had low permeability, which means water could not easily seep through it. In addition, The fine-grained mud has a high water retention capacity. As a result, salty layers of seawater could be held in the salt plant for long periods. Climate also plays an important role. Intinchai has abundant sunshine and a hot climate, especially in the dry seasons. Under these conditions, seawater evaporates slowly and steadily over time. As the water evaporates, salt crystals gradually form through natural process. Overall, the climate and physical environment here were ideal for traditional salt production. About 300 years ago, this salt plant was developed by Hakka villages. This relied on tidal movements to bring seawater into the plants and use solar drying instead of modern technology. The entire salt making process depended on natural conditions and manual labors. This shows how early coastal communities adapt their livelihoods to local geographical conditions.
And the second checkpoint is mangrove. One can find a particular type of plant that is not afraid of being by seawater and the special seeds and roots. And in mangrove, we can see different kinds of plants, for example, the Candelia or bovata. And the second plant is the Acousticum augeum, and also we can see the Agistea colliculation. And the function of plants in mangrove that can absorb rain, carbon dioxide, and other greenhouse gases. And also it can regulating the climate and purifying the water. That's the roots like a natural filter. And also in mangrove, we can see many of different kinds of organisms. For example, the birds like black kites, crabs like furry crab. Also in Hong Kong mangrove, we can see the mosquito, shrimp, and the butterfly. And the function of the mangrove with organism is that can provide the habitats for many of kind of organisms because it is suitable for them and also can highlighting the value of biodiversity and having the complete food chain.
For the final checkpoint, I would like to focusing on Stone Beach. The Stone Beach is at Imtinji mainly is composed of granite. The granite is an intrusive innocent rock, which means it's formed deeply inside the Earth's surface when the magma cooled down and crystallized. Because of this process, the rock usually has cross-grained texture. Over the long period of time, tonic lift up and expose this graphite formation up to the surface. Then, along the coastal line, continuously physics and chemical weathering gradually shaped the rock into a unique coastal line we see today. This makes the Stone Beach a very good example of how geological processing can change the landscape over time. The checkpoint also highlights another important feature of the site: the area including jungle, gymnastical, vertical formation that are more than 164 million years old. These rocks are usually light gray with some darker spots caused by weathering in the young sedimentary layer, so the student can identify them more easily during the tour. Additionally, this island also have a wave-cut platform, which is clear example of coastal erosion that give students a chance to observe how waves slowly veer away the coastal line, which shifted the landform. By visiting this checkpoint, students can learn both the geological history and ongoing coastal processing of this area.
And about the Jewel Tour guiding demonstration, and in the mangrove cross-border battle, we will arrive at the mangrove and take photo according to the desired rule, and will discuss with your group mates choosing the best photos which include the most crab, and the teacher will determine the group that achieved the highest score, and the winner will have the small gift. And after the whole activity, we will introduce the main characteristic of different plants and organisms. And also, we're talking about the ecological importance of the mangrove to the participation to let them know more about the landscape. And as that, we have the Q&A session. And in the activity, we have some rules to make the competition is more funny. For example, we will have 2 to 4 students in one group. Also, we have the special point is that when they can take photo with different types of crabs or a special action, for example, the crabs digging the holes, that will add an extra 2 points. And in the activities, hope that can allow the participants' understanding for the attraction features in the tour and the chronology that the activity aims to cover. And the second activity is about the revelation activity. The participant can scan the QR code or enter the link to type their answer and opinion. And this can allowing the participation to reflect on the landscape they saw in Yimtinzi and considering how should they protect the ecological environment. And this is the question of the revelation activity. Summarizing the tour through some simple questions can help them to reflect and deepen understanding of Intinzi. And also the 3 questions which are covered the entire activity content.
To conclude, the success of the salt plants mainly came from the close relationship between nature and human activity. The spread low-lying islands, clam water, and mud soils helped retain seawater for evaporation. At the same time, human knowledge played an important role as Hakka villagers used tides and sunlight to make salt without modern technology. Overall, the salt plants of Intinchai are a clear example of living with nature and show how geography shaped early coastal livelihood in Hong Kong.
And about the mangrove conclusion, the mangrove can providing the habitats for variety of marine life and forming the Hong Kong biodiversity. Also playing a crucial role in the nature because it can regulate climate to fill the water and allowing the formation of complete food chain to play the roles of producer, consumer, and decomposer, and being a material habitat for many birds. And the mangrove can help the participants learn more about the Concord mangrove and the wetland.
For the last part of the conclusion, Yimpingji Song Beach is not only a beautiful spot and also a place carrying on many history and culture. At the same time, this place reflected the connection to the past. Walking along the coastal, the visitor may see the rock are over 100 million years old. This beach is represent the history and culture, and it is really suitable for education and tour purpose. Here,
And
Here is our weapon list, and thank you for your attention.